Hi guys, I'm Leanne and this is my YouTube channel. It is about my life and my weight loss journey, but I do touch on a lot of other subjects, which is, sorry, I've just made such a mess with my hair. It's so like sticky and luggy. I do touch on a lot of the things that affect me during my weight loss journey and things that I think impact on how I'm feeling and therefore how I get on with this diet. This one's a really hard one for me to record and speak freely about because it's generally something that I kind of keep hidden and keep to myself and kind of suck it up and get on with. But through a lot of work that I've done on myself, I've realised that sucking it up and just kind of not addressing them problems leaves me with like underlying problems which then never get resolved and then therefore have a massive impact on my mental health and well-being, and in turn impact how successful I am as an individual on this weight loss journey and my emotions and my overall well-being. So the reason I'm recording this is probably, like, if you've watched me and followed me along, you'll know that I generally record the things that happen, the stuff that affects me. I'll watch this back and I'll do a lot of work on myself and how I'm feeling and what's triggered it. And it's just how I try to grow and try and regulate myself and be a lot more aware and be probably more emotionally aware and more in control and more realistic, rather than allowing myself to get over emotional and affected by things around me that are out of my control. So I feel like I've rambled a lot there to explain why this video is here. I'm not in this really to create this massive channel and be like an influencer. So if I'm boring, I apologise, but by all means just unsubscribe and delete, because I'm just trying to be really real and really honest with myself, and that's why this is here. And I'm really glad if it helps anybody else along the way, but I am also here to try and help myself. I think you can probably tell by the way that I'm talking and the way that I am. I'm not feeling very happy today. I feel really sad and quite low. I do think I'm a little bit hormonal, but I know that there's been a bit of an issue that's arisen that's made me feel quite worthless and not very good about myself. And I do think there's like historic reasons behind that, but something recently has triggered it, and I'm trying not to get into my own head about it, but I've now been thinking about it for what's like 3 days, and it's like it's sat stewing underneath in my emotions. So it's obviously something that I need to process and get over. So the thing that's triggered me is that I have two people that I thought were my good friends, and I think I'm the kind of person, I genuinely try to be a good friend and I do things for people. And the two people like that I'm talking about, I do think I genuinely try to be there for, and I considered them quite good friends that I've done I've just tried to do things for and things. And I think that I've got a bit of an issue that I get maybe too involved with people. Sorry about the external noise, I can't control it because I'm at work. Laura's one of my friends and I thought we were quite good friends, and she got married, asked me to do the photography and stuff for a wedding, and I did it completely free of charge and like gave up my time to do it. We got an invite to the wedding. I was really honoured to do that. I really love Ryan, whose wedding it was, and I do like them as people, and I thought that we were good friends. I haven't edited or done the videos yet because I just haven't had time, and to be honest, there's been other things that I think have created a block to me doing that, which will become apparent in this video. So I did that. Amy is a girl that I've known for a long time, and I thought that she was one of my like bestie friends. We don't see each other a lot outside of work. She comes for nails done and things like that, but we have socialised outside of work. Both of them came on my 40th birthday on holiday with me, and I do love them, but if I'm being honest, I love them both very much. Recently, there's talks, it's coming up to Amy's 40th birthday, and sister Laura and her friend are planning something to celebrate her 40th. And it's become apparent that like there's other people going, they're doing a coupley thing, and I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something and I haven't got an invite for that. And there's a part of me that feels a little bit hurt by that, because like I invited them to my 40th and I just thought we were good friends, and maybe I've obviously got that wrong. And I just feel like this kind of thing happens to me a lot, and I feel like I like then reflected on it, and in retrospect, like Laura had hen do's and I didn't get invited on that. And I think the only reason I was invited to a wedding was so I could do her photography free of charge. And although I know that's my fault because I've kind of put myself in that situation and said, yeah, I'll do it, I feel a little bit like the only value I've got is if I'm doing stuff for people and actually people don't like me outside of, like on a personal level. Like Amy is a client that comes to me for nails done and stuff, and I think maybe I've misread our friendship, and maybe I don't know, like it's really hard to express it because I've got so many things going around in my head. Like maybe it's just a professional relationship and I've misread it and thought it's maybe more than that, and like I'm annoyed at myself for doing that, and I've allowed them boundaries to be crossed, and then now it's left me feeling quite like I'm not really valued as a person, like for social and like for events and stuff. I'm not good enough to be invited, but actually when it's something that I can do for somebody else and like things like that, that then I am invited. Does that make sense? So this stems from like a historical thing that I feel like I've had a lot of relationships in my life where I've done a lot. I had a friend called Rebecca, who I feel like I helped out a lot and did do later on in life. And if she was getting stuff from me, she was fine. And she was actually quite mean to me in a lot of the ways that she treated me and the things that she did. Like one of my birthdays, I bought a new jumpsuit and she was coming out and she went and bought the same jumpsuit. So for my birthday, I ended up with like nothing to wear and I ended up dressed in this stripy top that I just threw on. And she knew that I'd got that for my birthday. It wasn't an accident, it was a plan. Once she got dumped and was going on holiday on her own, so I did her nails and stuff for free just to try and cheer her up so she had the confidence to go on the holiday on her own. And then she was kind of flirty with my partner in front of me and thought that that was acceptable. And there was a lot of instances with her where I feel like she didn't really have respect for me and weren't really okay with me, and I felt quite used and it made me feel quite devalued. I had a friend called Leanne who I was really close to, and again I did a lot for, I felt, and I was there for her, but she would arrange nights out and never invite me with her friends. And I always like thought to myself, it's because I'm not cool enough, it's because I'm fat. I didn't like, maybe she's embarrassed to be seen with me, and things like that. And I have distance, like she just disappeared, stopped talking to me one time. Like I've been an help to tidy a garden out. I felt quite a lot for her. I was there through like listening to her and anything that went off in her life. We used to talk literally every day. And then one day she just stopped talking to me. And since I've spoke to her and asked her what the issue was, just because I wanted to find out what's wrong with me, why people like do that to me. And she didn't give me any reason. It was just that she was sorry. She did say sorry. And she's asked me to see if I wanted to go for coffee since. And she comes to the salon and has her lashes done. And she's nice and I enjoy her time and stuff. But I do feel hurt that I've never been good enough that she will invite me out socially. And I'm telling you all this because like now I feel like this has happened again, that I'm here with these two people that I thought valued me, and like I don't mind that I'm not invited, and ultimately it is what it is. It's not really for me to dictate that, but I feel probably quite rejected, and I feel hurt that I'm not good enough that they would want to invite me, if that makes any sense. I feel a bit, it's hard to put into words how I feel, because it's like a build up of loads of historical times that's happened. Now this has happened, and I feel stupid for feeling like it. And I think, do you know, at 40, I should just get over myself. But then there's a part of me that's like, I'm just not good enough to be on anybody's priority list. And that in turn makes me feel really worthless and quite low. And then I'm usually like quite a straight talking person, and I think, should I like address that? And Laura came in for some treatments, and I said to her like, oh, it's Amy's 40th, I know you're arranged. I was kind of testing the waters, and I said to her like, oh, like what are you doing for 40th, because I might pay for something. Do you know if they were going to a spa or something as a present? And she didn't tell me what they was doing, but then kept kind of like excusing the fact that I had no invite because it was a couples thing and they could only invite 10 couples, and we might arrange something just girls, which I don't think they will. And then she said, oh, but if you wanted to buy something for a spa, why don't you book you and her a spa day? And then I just think, I don't want to book a spa day with somebody that doesn't value me. I'm not really bothered. And she came for my 40th, Amy and Laura, and they bought me a joint present and gave it me, which was really nice. And I just think maybe I ought to just return that and do that and keep that where that relationship is. I do enjoy the time, I'm not going to lie. I love Amy to bits. Like I said, I thought that we were quite good, close friends. But maybe as it transpires, I'm maybe the only one that felt that, and maybe I've just misread it a bit, and it then makes me feel really stupid. And I do question, like, I don't think I've got many long-term friends that are there for me, that I feel are asked about me. Like, a lot of people, I feel like they're only my friend when it suits, if I'm going to be honest. They're not there through thick and thin. They don't message me to see if I'm all right. They don't really check in on me. And then I'm like left thinking, like, what is actually wrong with me? Like, why is that? And I'm finding it really difficult, because maybe it's something in me, like my personality. Am I not a nice person? Do I treat people like shit? Do I not put enough time and effort in with people? Am I just not very likable? Like, I do think I've got some form of like autism. I'm a bit weird, aren't I? Do you know, like, am I autistic? Am I don't know, neurodiverse in whatever way? Is that it? Is that it? Is it because I'm too quirky? Is it because I'm too weird? Am I just not likable? Is there something wrong? Like, I just can't help but sit here and think, is there something wrong with me that, like, I don't deserve this? And that's where I'm at, really. I haven't really come to a conclusion where it's concerned. I just wanted to record it because it's making me quite sad. It is actually making me like a bit crying and a bit emotionally, and like I've been brought up that you just kind of suck it up and move on, and like I probably do need to, and not sit and like whine about it. And it just makes me reflect on my relationships and think, like, I'm generally not very, like, I've not been good enough for anybody, really. I think, like, my kids, they seem okay with me, but then I think, oh, they've kind of got to, because I'm the mum and they've grown up with me and I'm what they're used to. And it does make me question if I've been a good enough mum. And then, like, Oliver, like, I've had, like, I'm rubbish at relationships. And maybe it is my fault that they broke down and I ain't been good enough, I ain't done well enough. And then I look at like friendships and I think there's been so many that have been and gone, and really, like, have I got a best friend? Like Rachel, at the minute, Rachel I've known her for a long time, and she is lovely and is there. She does invite me out. But I've said to Rachel a couple of times, like, oh, if you want, we'll book a holiday. Do you need to take a, she's on her own and she's got a little boy. And I said a couple of times, if you want to look for a cheap holiday, I'll come away with you and I'll do that. And then since doing that, she's booked a holiday to go away with another friend for 2 weeks, and dismissed the fact that I'd asked her, which is good because I was doing it for her. It's not really the kind of holiday I go on, so it's kind of good. But then I think, oh, she didn't even spoke to me about that. And then in the summer, she's going with her sister and her friend, and I think that's good. And she always goes away with her sister and a friend, and I don't begrudge her going with her sister and a friend. But then I think all this all added up makes me think, but I offered to go with her, with Ruben, and she didn't want me. And then I think, am I overanalyzing it? I don't know. And this is something that I evidently need to work on, because consistently throughout my existence, I don't feel good enough for people. I think a lot of that I've blamed on being overweight a bit, but then I've also thought that as an individual inside, maybe there's something wrong with me that's not good enough for people. And I think a lot of my self-confidence and the way that I speak about myself and things like that, it's a learned behaviour because I've never felt valued really by somebody. My relationships seem to be men relationships seem to be quite unbalanced sometimes. I do feel a lot like I throw in all this love and don't get a lot back, and I'll think that, but then I'll think, oh my god, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I expect too much. Maybe I'm too hard at work. Maybe I'm too nagging, and I start blaming myself. And now this situation with this 40th birthday, in the grand scheme of life, it doesn't actually matter. And I enjoy my own company, and I can surround myself with people in terms of people will spend a day with me and stuff like that. But I think I've craved for a long time a deeper connection with somebody that genuinely cares about me. And I don't feel like that's been met, and I don't feel like I'm capable of having that. And then I'll think that, and then I'll think, but maybe it's you. Maybe there's something wrong with you. Well, there evidently is, because there's a common denominator, that is me. But yeah, that's where I'm at today, and I'm recording this so I can think about this and watch this back and see how I felt and see how I progress with this. And I mean, I might never follow this up. This might just be a one-off video that I throw this out there. I might follow it up, or this might happen to me again and there's another video that'll go out there that'll be me moaning and whining about not being good enough. I don't know. But I mean, I've shared everything on my channel, and this is an aspect of me that nobody ever sees, because I smile and I go, everything's fine, everything's okay, and I don't question when people do this to me. I'll go, okay, as long as you're happy, that's fine. I'm probably a little bit embarrassed to address this with people and say, actually, this is how you treated me, and this is is it because I'm worthless? Is it because I'm not good enough? And I've kind of been brought up not to do that. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So, I mean, one of the times, if you've been following me along, it will be can you remember the hen do that was supposed to go on? And because I couldn't wear shorts, because I hate having my legs out, I ended up not going, and I lost a friend who I'd known for a long time. And ultimately, I know that if I've lost a friend because I was getting forced into wearing these shorts and there was no understanding, she got really defensive and shouted at me. In that moment, I was just yeah, you're only here because you want me to fly over to Turkey to do your wedding hair and makeup. You actually don't give a shit about me or my feelings or the impact that this is having on me. And that's not a friend. And I'm mature enough and emotionally aware enough to know that that's not a friend. But the question is, why do I only attract people that aren't asked about me, that I will message them and say, are you okay? Is everything all right? I always think I'm quite an okay person. I had my ex's partner message me because they'd split up and blah, 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 and she was being domestically abused. And I ended up supporting her with that. And even now to this day, every now and again, I will send her a message and say, just checking in to see if you're all right. I mean, she is okay. She's away from that situation. She's safe. I'd like to feel, well, she's told me before that I helped her with that situation and to get the help she needed to get out of that situation and safeguard her children. And like, do I get too involved? Is that just weird? Like, I know that sounds weird that I helped my ex's partner, and it weren't like a negative thing against him because I don't really care about him. Like, I hope he's okay, but like that was a long time ago that we were together, and like I move on from things. I'm quite okay at processing that. Like, I don't feel any bitterness towards him, and it weren't like anything to do with him, but I couldn't ignore somebody that was being domestically abused. And I think that makes me a nice person. But then I think, do I just get too involved? Like, do I need to stop doing that? But ultimately, she never messages me to see if I'm okay. It's always me messaging every now and again just to see if she's all right. And when I do, she's happy to tell me all about her life and everything that's going off. And I don't think she's got many friends. But she should stop doing that. I don't know. I genuinely do get invested into people and care about them. So that's why I do that. But then I think, am I just being stupid? Maybe I am. But the verdict's out there because this is obviously my next piece of self-development work that I really need to work on and get to the bottom of where this stems from, address it, and work through that as trauma. So I hope I haven't totally bored anybody if you've made it this far. It is just me documenting my stupid rambles and my stupid life. So I hope you guys are well. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being so supportive, because as you can tell from this video, I didn't get it very much. Like, the people that actually comment on my videos and have shown support, maybe this will explain and give you a little bit of insight to actually how much I do genuinely appreciate it, because I never get this. Like, I never get anybody asking how I am or being interested in my life or helping give me a pep talk when I need it, or just genuinely being kind and nice. So I do absolutely appreciate it. And as sad as that is, because I've never met these people, it's also really nice. So I appreciate it. And times like this is probably when I need it the most. So thank you. And I'm so glad my videos are up to date now, because times when I do need it the most, I can like put this out there and maybe get a little bit of help and support. I hope you're having a good week, guys.